Hi, Nana's thinking of you. This book is called The Interrupting Cow Meets the Wise Quacker. Interrupting cow. Are you an interrupting cow? No. Are you a wise quacker? I don't know. We'll see. It was another morning on the farm. Interrupting Cow woke with his head full of jokes, and she had learned from some new friends, but no one to tell them to. The herd disliked jokes. The horses, goats, and pigs all hid when they saw her coming. The pig is hiding under a bucket. Somebody dove into the hay. Looks like the goat is under the hay, and the cow is hiding under the hay. Maybe this is a horse, because it has a long tail. But the cow has some jokes. But Interrupting Cow was an optimist, a cow who always hoped for the best. Maybe today will be different, she thought. So she said, knock, knock. But without waiting for her to say one more word, all the animals headed for the barn door and did not stop to open it, just ran right through it, knocking it to the ground. Look at that. They knocked the door right to the ground. It's a knock-knock joke. For a moment, Interrupting Cow thought she was having a bad dream. But when she went to the door, it was indeed lying on the ground with dozens of hoof prints covering it. Interrupting Cow stepped outside, careful to avoid any splinters. There's the door with all the hoof prints on it. Those animals had just knocked it down. On the other side stood a large duck, sort of yellow, as if he had never quite outgrown his duckling feathers. He was chuckling at the door disaster. You're not one of our ducks, Interrupting Cow said. You are far too yellow, and you know how to laugh. The duck nodded and gave her a wide grin. I come from a long line of wisecrackers, he said. We love to collect jokes. I think Cow has met a friend. Sounds like Cow likes to tell jokes and the duck likes to hear jokes. I have knock-knock jokes especially, I love knock-knock jokes especially, said the duck, standing with his wings on hips, waiting. Interrupting Cow was delighted. Knock, knock, she began. Who's there? Duck asked. Interrupting Cow, she cried out. Interrupting Cow, the duck began, his gleaming eyes showing that he knew what was coming. But before he could finish saying, Interrupting Cow who, she interrupted, shouting, Moo! Cow and duck fell down in giggles that mixed moos and quacks and went on and on and on and on. They both enjoyed that. They're laughing at themselves. Still chuckling, the pair got up. They wandered off while the sound of the farmer's hammer fixing the door followed them down the road. They're going to go for a walk. Wonder where they're going to go. Maybe find somebody else who likes jokes. Do you know any other cow jokes? Asked the duck. Remember, I collect jokes. A few, said Interrupting Cow, but not enough. If you teach me others, maybe then the herd will like me. Unlikely, said the wise quacker. I have found very few cows with a sense of humor. Try me, Interrupting Cow pleaded. Do you know any cows with a sense of humor? I don't know any cows with a sense of humor, but I don't know very many cows. So they had reached the duck pond. The paddling ducks took one look at them and swam away so fast they left a tiny tidal wave behind. Nearby, goats climbed onto their houses and baaed loudly to keep out the sound of any jokes. Pigs sank deep into the mud that filled their ears so they could not hear. And the horses all galloped away to the far side of the meadow to mix in with the herd of cows. Sounds like nobody wants to hear the jokes. Everybody's trying to escape. Wise Quacker reached deep under his wing and came up with a little book. When he opened it, Interrupting Cow saw that it was filled with scratches and hatches. He began to read. What did one secret agent cow say to the other? Are you utter cover? I love that, Interrupting Cow interrupted. Do you know this one? Why was the cow sad? She wasn't sad. She was just moody. Wise Quacker laughed. Then he read another joke, his beak buried in his book. You know what they say about cows? They're outstanding in their field, Interrupting Cow laughed. Wise Quacker turned a few pages and continued. What do cows play in bands? Music. What do you get if you pamper a cow? Spoiled milk. What do cows read in the morning? The moose paper. What does a farmer say to the cows at night? It's pasture bedtime. Interrupting Cow laughed and laughed and laughed and laughed. They're enjoying themselves. Then it was Interrupting Cow's turn. Here's my last one, she said, and took a deep breath. Why do cows have bells? Because their horns don't work. Oh my. Wise Quacker quickly scribbled that joke in his book, then put it back under his wing. And here's my last one. He took a deep breath. Knock, knock. Who's there? Asked Interrupting Cow. Interrupting Cow, he said. Interrupting Cow, moo, Wise Quacker and Interrupting Cow both yelled together. Then they began to laugh, stomping hoof and wing. Still the best cow joke of them all, said Interrupting Cow. Absolutely, said Wise Quacker. Listening to new jokes today was a moving experience, Interrupting Cow said. They both fell to the ground again. They were laughing so hard that Interrupting Cow said, this time I might have spoiled the milk. She was laughing so hard. She closed her eyes for a moment and suddenly heard bubbles of laughter. When she opened her eyes, she saw that every one of her animal friends was clapping and hooting and howling with laughter. Great ending, Interrupting Cow thought, but whatever can I do for an encore? Oh, everybody finally laughed at her jokes. That was a silly, silly book with some new jokes I have not heard. Thanks for listening. I love you guys. Mwah.